All right, hello. My name is Travis Lindsay. I work for the Center for Entrepreneurship at Cal State Fullerton, and today we are lucky to have Aaron Tofani, who was a finance graduate, but sort of like also an entrepreneurship graduate from Cal State Fullerton, and wanted to talk with him about what he's been up to since he graduated. Gosh, it's been 17 years now for both of us for our undergrads, right?
Whoa, whoa.
Yeah, it's been a little while.
Put it like that, it sounds weird.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Um,
it's almost like, yeah, it's almost about the amount of time it took for us to graduate from high school, through all
yeah,
that. So Aaron, please take it away after I landed that bombshell.
yeah, I appreciate that. I know. I just realized that how old I am now, and I'm 40. Wow. But yeah, still, look back and think of my time there at Fullerton very fondly. Gained a lot, and currently operating multiple restaurants and multiple real estate projects and development companies. So um, it's been a fun, interesting road since then. But a pleasure to be here, and look forward to sharing any insights I can to help current class, current students, and any prospective ones and past ones too who may be watching. So thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. So you talked about the restaurants, Rance's Chicago Pizza, Muldoon's Irish Pub, and then also you're a partner and founder at some real estate development firms. Now the
Yeah.
students they see that and they go, well, crap, how exactly do I get there? Because they just see kind of the end state of everything. So
Yeah.
maybe it would be better to start off more at the beginning. So how did you get your start in being an entrepreneur, business owner, and all that other stuff?
Yeah, sure. You know, when I graduated from Fullerton with a finance degree, I had a specific, while I was there, I fell in love with real estate development. I was working in construction for a family business in construction engineering. And I saw the people, our clients that were doing development, and it looked like it was a lot of fun. Always been really interested in that, in real estate as a whole, but then the development angle of it just really appealed to me. I like businesses in general, businesses that are open to the public, um, like retail business, restaurants, that kind of thing, hospitality type stuff. So it just kind of appealed to me to do development focusing on retail properties. So upon graduating in 2006, I just started going out there looking for deals, and I met with some of the folks who were our clients and had kind of developed a little bit of a mentor base. Having a good mentorship base is important, and started trying to make sense of the deals. And it was just a weird time in real estate development, real estate in general. So it was hard to put a deal together because the economics didn't make sense. Later on, there'd be a economic catastrophe, if you will, and which is especially hard on real estate, but wasn't making sense of the deal. So I went to go work in real estate for a little while to try and figure out what to do and learn from people and get paid while doing it. So I started working for a family out of Newport Beach, doing acquisitions for real estate projects, seeing how they do the deals and how they finance them, and how they develop them. And so about a year into that, the economy fell apart. At that time, went back to school, got a master's degree in real estate development from USC, and then just continued going down the path. I was going to again graduate and go work on my own, but I got an opportunity to work for a group and got paid well and learned from them. And so I worked with them for about 5 years. In the meantime, started a pizza restaurant in 2011, started doing the work. We opened in 2012. That's the Rance Chicago Pizza, the one in Costa Mesa. And so because I had that real estate background in retail development, I was able to, contribute the financial side of things by putting together all the budgets and pro forma, and raise the capital, structure the investments from our investors, and then find the locations, negotiate the lease, work on the plan, get the permits, and basically get it open and turn it over to the operating partner. and that's gone well. And we have 2 stores now, and one in Long Beach and on 2nd Street. That's our flagship. Big following on social media. It's been a fun ride. Restaurants, the return on time is not as good as real estate. It's a lot of work. It's a labor of love. But continued working on real estate projects, have some of my own, and partnered with a company in Newport that does retail development. And so we've got about a half a dozen active developments, and then some other ones that are gearing up to enter the development stage. And also, have had some opportunities to invest in some fun deals, like a horse ranch in Maui called Mendez Ranch. It's with some friends and part of a horseback club I'm in. And so that's a fun deal. It's like 35 acres on the coast in Maui. We offer trail rides. It's a trail ride business that came with the real estate. So have that going on, and then but yeah, it's just when you graduate, most people don't really exactly know what they're going to do. Some have a very clear direction. I was kind of in the middle. I knew where I wanted to go, but I wasn't sure how I was going to get there. And just being persistent and just keep on going, and you will get there. So.
Right. Yeah, no, I hear your story, and it's a very, not exactly a common story, but I mean, I've heard similar kinds of things before, where you do have a general idea of what you want to do, and then you go out and you start taking risks, right? So it's just little risks that pay off, and then you build on that and build on that over time, and eventually you look up and you've got a horse ranch on Maui.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So do you have any like specific advice on like the mindset that you need to have to go about doing it that kind of way? So I mean, I'm assuming that many students, maybe I was a little bit like this myself, but they think, okay, I'm going to graduate, and then there's going to be more of a set path, but yours wasn't a set path. It was something you had to develop yourself. So what kind of mindset do you have to make that successful?
Yeah, really. Well, you can't be afraid. You have to have confidence or ignorance. There's a fine line sometimes, but you can't be afraid to take the risk. Like you mentioned, that's a proper statement. Especially when you're younger, it's easier to take those risks. Before you have your family and mortgage and all those kinds of things going on. If that's your situation, but yeah, not being afraid to take the risk. I would say the mindset of hard work, and I think generally what I've found is folks are either entrepreneur inclined or not. They're risk averse or they're risk tolerant. So yeah, you just kind of you have to believe in yourself, have some confidence and courage, and just be willing to make mistakes, or just understand that you're going to make mistakes and be willing to learn from them and grow, because there's no such thing as a mistake if you learn from it. It's a lesson, you just keep going. So you have to be open to that. And then just having that, maximize your time. Don't, get caught up on small things and focus on the important ones. And I'd say that's kind of the core for me. And then just also, integrity and just staying true to yourself. There's a lot of times along the way where people might disagree with what you're doing, or they might think it's a dumb idea, but they're not. What are they doing? So it's hard to it's easy to get talked out of things by some people, and it's not that they're not trying to they're not trying to discourage you for the sake of discouraging you. That's just how they think. But you got to stay true to what you believe. So I just kind of just had to stay true to that, focus on the vision, and just keep going forward and not listen to the distractions out there.
Gotcha. So have a clear sense of yourself, what you're trying to accomplish, be open to taking risks and going out there and learning from your mistakes. I think that's an awesome message.
Yeah.
So looking forward, are you going to continue to do some of the same stuff? Are you going to open up new restaurants, do new real estate deals? What is Aaron going to do going forward professionally?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you said professionally, because I was just about to say I'm going to have a baby, my first baby in July. So
Wow,
that's going to,
congratulations.
thanks.
Yeah.
It's going to slow me down a little bit on the deal side. I've been having to say no to deals. I've got, you know, part of the challenge is that, you know, as an entrepreneur, you get excited about new opportunities all the time. And there's, as you start to build up speed and you start to build up your relationship base, you start to get more opportunities. And then I'm a sucker for deals, you know, especially real estate deals. I want to chase them all. I want to do as many as I can. And so it's easy to get um, excited about that. And so right now, at this exact time, it feels weird to be doing this, but I'm declining new opportunities because I'm trying to just focus on the ones that I have at hand. Um, you know, there's a few developments that are in the critical stage of needing to be completed. Some stuff that we've even owned before the pandemic that's been, I say we have some partners in various deals where it's the time is to you know, has come. We got to get these certain ones done that had delays, and there's, you know, inflation, cost pressures. So I'm really just focused on getting all the things I have in motion really refined and just really operating to their full potential. So that's where I spend a lot of my time today, and where I'm focused at today. In the future, you know, 6 months, maybe 12 months from now, absolutely have plans to open up, you know, multiple new restaurants, you know, partner in more and more real estate developments. It's all part of a plan. You know, there's certain ones that will be completed by the end of this calendar year, and then they're just trying to stack them all up and stage them in a way so that I can maintain some work-life balance. And because, you know, for a while it was just all work, there wasn't really a work-life balance. It was really focused on work, but now it's starting a family. So but yeah, more restaurants. I'm just trying to stick to what I know now that I've learned, you know, from 10, well, I guess it's been like 11 years of owning and operating restaurants, and about 15 years of real estate, just sticking to those two businesses, and really just becoming the best I can at those two things. And they do overlap quite a bit, because every restaurant operates in a commercial real estate property in some form or fashion. So there's a lot of overlap there. Like with the Muldoon's Irish Pub in Newport, we were able to buy the real estate, the building there in Fashion Island, and the business together. So that's the kind of stuff that the ranch in Maui, buy the real estate with the business. And that's really where I love the direction of going, is owning the real estate and the business together. That's my favorite thing.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest fast food chains, McDonald's probably the biggest. I mean, it's also one of the largest real estate developers in the world,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
so it's they're not making too much more land, so it's one of those good investments.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so something that you said that I latched on to, which was saying no to more and more opportunities. I mean, for myself personally, I mean, I've seen this, and I think that this generally tracks for a lot of people, is that early on in your career, you've got to say yes to more stuff.
Yeah.
But then as you go along, you're ending up saying no to more and more, because your time gets a little bit more valuable as time
Yeah.
as you get older and more experienced. And yeah, just to, you know, put the story back on me for a second. I mean, like in the investment space, I co-founder of a couple of investment funds. You know, most of the deals, the vast majority of the deals that we see, we pass on.
Yeah.
So it's just something that you know, you have to develop over time if you are going to go and become an entrepreneur, an investor, or do anything that does involve a little bit more risk. You got to be open to more opportunities early on, but then as time goes on, you know, you kind of have to get a better sense of where the actual ROI is. And so it sounds
100%.
like, yeah, it sounds like you're completely on board with that.
Yeah, and also too, it's sometimes the best deals are the ones you don't do,
Yeah,
because you can have quite a few good ones and maybe, hit a couple singles, a double, but you definitely, you want to be in it for the long haul. And if you do something that's, we had a deal with my pizza partner and I had a deal at USC campus that we opened a store there, and it didn't do well. It was a long story. We got into a lawsuit with USC with us and other restaurants got together. It was a big, you can read about in the news. It's quite a mess. But on that one, it was one of those where I wasn't so much in it. Partner was really like wanted to. We had this kind of thing, and I said, "What the heck? I'll go for it." Being younger and just being like, "What the heck? Let's go. Fine, we'll go for it." But in hindsight, man, I wish I would have stuck to my gut on that one. That one hurt, but you learn from it, right? And then you grow. But I was advising. I wouldn't say advising, but I have a friend who was looking at a fitness health kind of business and lease space, and had me look over it, and he's like, I'm not sure if I should do this or not. And I was like, sometimes I told him that same thing, sometimes the best deals are the ones you don't do. And a couple of weeks later he came to me and he's like, and that was like the best advice, because I was on the fence, I wasn't sure, my partner was pressured, like he really wanted to, and then like he's like, it was hard for the ego a little bit, but they were all ready to go, and he's just like, I decided it wasn't my best interest, and I'm so glad I didn't, and it was just, it's easy to get caught up on that, I'm sure with your investment projects and stuff,
oh
where
yeah,
it's like you never want to fall in love with a deal, because there'll be another one along. A developer once told me, is that when I was in school and I was talking to him about doing stuff, I'm like, I really want to do this deal, and I was like really just trying to make it work, and he's like, Aaron, deals are just like buses. There'll be another one by in the next 15 minutes. Don't don't get too
yeah.
caught up on this one.
Well, and that's 100% true. I mean, especially
Yeah,
if you're going out there and you're making your own way, there's always going to be other opportunities. I mean,
100%.
there's
Yeah,
just tons of opportunities out there. I mean, not all of them are going to turn you into a billionaire. Most of them
yeah,
won't, but
yeah,
that they can, lead into something else, whether it's, you're making more money, or you're getting equity in a business, or you're getting an ownership stake in a piece of real estate. And
yeah,
these sorts of things just build up over time. It's not like you went out, you made one deal and you were set for life. You've probably, worked on hundreds, if not thousands of deals. Most of
yeah,
them you say no to, and then there's the few that you actually do say yes to, and it just sort of builds on itself over time. And I think that's something that back when I was teaching at Cal State Fullerton, just building on those small wins, and then over time you look up and you're an overnight success, right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, and I think that I mean, just looking through your CV, I mean, I see a lot of that where it's you have the different companies that you're a founder of or your partner at, but
Yeah,
just all these little wins that people that you don't see on the CV, you only see the
yeah,
title, and so it's just all that little stuff. Has that been your experience as well?
yeah. I would say so. I kind of get lost in it where for a lot of years I had my head down and was really just focused on I was focused on having fun. I chose not to get married and start family earlier in life. Everyone's got a different path, right? And I chose to
Right.
wait till later, and so I was just out there having fun, going, traveling, doing things, and head down, working really hard, work hard, play hard, just really focus on that. And then all of a sudden, like, you kind of like time flies, and then you don't realize it. Then you look up, someone's like, oh, so what do you do? And you start telling them what you do, and they're like, oh my gosh, well, first of all, how do you do all that stuff? And like, that's so, you have so many things going on, and you're like, oh yeah, I guess I do. I didn't even realize that. It's like that, what you just said, like you realize you're an overnight success, but you're not, like,
Right.
no one generally is. It takes a lot of time and energy, and then all of a sudden it hits, it all kind of comes together. And it's yeah, it's an interesting, entrepreneurship's interesting in that way, because you're working so hard, and then all of a sudden it's like going on a hike and you're climbing a mountain, and your head's down, you're climbing, and then like you stop and you look around, you're like, oh, the view is pretty nice up here. So it's like that.
Yeah, 100%. And, you are right. I mean, people have different paths. Being an entrepreneur isn't for everybody. Being an investor isn't for everybody. And, it does take away from all that other stuff. There are trade-offs that are involved with everything. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you had a bunch of 80-hour weeks in there, maybe more, probably 100, 120 hours, some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Opening the restaurants is the hardest part. The initial build out, that there was some, pretty brutal weeks in there, but survived.
Yeah, no, good. I'm glad you did. And you just got married, you have a kid on the way. Is there any advice that you would give to somebody who's a student right now, or somebody who's just thinking about starting a business? What kind of advice would you give to them?
Yes, I guess it goes like there's different folks. So like starting from the beginning to like from people who aren't sure what they're up to, and then there's like the spectrum of people who know exactly what they want to do. So the folks that aren't sure, what I tell people when I speak or whenever anyone asks me, I'm not sure what I want to do. Something someone told me is that if you don't know what you want to do, then any road will take you there. So just do something. Just pick something that some people, they're when they're in school, they're trying to figure it out. There's a lot of pressure sometimes when you're younger, and your family, your friends, or people are like, what are you going to do when you graduate? What are you going to do? What do you know? And like, they don't know. So it's just pick something that you're even remotely interested in, and just start there and just go full speed and work as hard as you can. You'll build a relationship. It'll open another door. There's folks that maybe you're in the middle somewhere, like I want to start a business, but I'm not sure. I kind of have an idea, but I don't know. Or like for me, it's like I want to do real estate, but I'm like, I don't really have a lot of experience yet, and I'm trying to learn it. And so, if you're in that position, it doesn't hurt to go work for somebody first. Graduate and go work somewhere and see how they do it. Go to a company that's been doing it for 20, 30 years and just see how they do it and get paid to learn. And then on the far side of things, if someone's, they have a plan, they know what they're doing, it's just, or they know what they want to do, just make sure you have like, your investor documents. And if you're in a partnership, your partnership documents really, have a really good attorney that gets all that stuff, set up, have a good plan, make sure you have enough capital, and definitely raise more capital than or be open to, raising more than you think you'll need. Having a contingency budget is really good. And then, just go for it. And, with a plan. So that's kind of just having it organized and having a clear direction, I would say, for those folks that do have a business idea they want to do and they have their plan together. And one thing I watched the other videos that you've done with this in this format, and like, one of the questions, and sorry if I'm already stealing a question from the future, but what's something that you learned at Cal State Fullerton that really benefited you? And I share this with people all the time, and it was from John Jackson's book, First, Best, or Different. And I remember reading that book whenever we were in school, and I didn't apply it right away, but years later, whenever we were opening the pizza restaurant, it was the first one. It was like, trying to find out who you are as an operator, who you are as a company, what's your company's identity, what do you stand for, and like you're going to be the first, or you're going to be the best, you're going to be different, and it was like, we actually checked all those boxes because we're the first ones to really push Chicago style deep dish pizza in Southern California. Like, there's been others that come and gone, and there's been smaller outfits that are just kind of like mom and pop, just one off for a long time type of operators, but we came in with like a vision of growing and hitting certain milestones. And we were different than all the other pizza places, because people will say, oh, everybody's doing pizza, and you're like, well, we're doing it different, and then we want to be the best. So we kind of checked all three of those. So definitely the first Best or Different book was really interesting, so go read that. That was a good one.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, no, I've definitely read it. Love the book, and one of the things I like about it is that it's a bunch of short kind of nuggets of wisdom. I think is
Yes.
the best way to put it. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
great. Yeah, no, I love it. Love the advice. The best way to get started is to get started.
Yeah. Just do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
People, they call it analysis paralysis,
Yep.
because you can sit there and you can, just, and also too is just it's okay to start small. Just
Yeah.
if you can make $1 doing something, you can make $1 million doing something.
Right.
It just takes time and energy, effort, and you can do
Right.
it.
Well, yeah, even more than that. I mean, you can start small and stay small. You don't have to you don't have to build a big business. If you want
Yeah.
to build something that, makes you enough money to live off of, then that's great. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what you could do. And then you just get better
Absolutely.
at that. And who knows? Aaron, I love it. I could talk with you for
Yep.
hours. I really appreciate you agreeing to do the interview.
Yeah.
And thank you very much, sir. How can people get in touch with you?
Yeah. So I'd say the best way is probably, I'm on LinkedIn, Aaron Tofani, or email at aaron@rancespizza.com. It's RANCESPIZZA.com. I'm at the store sometimes. If any of the students ever if you're watching and you want to come get a slice of pizza and talk business, shoot me an email, aaron@rancespizza.com, and we'll sit down and maybe even have a beer. Who knows?